Hello everyone, today is part 8 of our little tutorial series, and today we're going to learn how to make a character customizer. But first, you guys actually need to understand what is a modular character and how we actually use them in Bevy itself. Okay, what type of formats we need to import, what type of formats we actually need to download, and all that stuff, and you guys actually need to learn how it's going to be like the logic of the bones and stuff like that. But yeah, you guys need to do that. So this is basically going to be the focus of this part. Okay. So before I get started, it's really important that you guys follow along to part 6 and 7 of our little tutorial series if you guys want to actually make the same character customizer as I did. Of course, all the code is available and it is really well commented and documented on the repository right below the link. And right below the link, you're also going to notice that we have like a Quaternius thing, which is basically where we got these characters from. Okay, our modular characters. So let's get started. Okay, so first of all, Quaternius is where you guys are going to find the assets that we are using. Okay, so that's basically something you guys need to know. And second of all, you guys need to understand what is going to be how it actually all works. Okay, I'm gonna first display on Blender. You guys gonna notice that I actually made a zip file here, and you guys gonna see a lot of things. So first of all, you guys need to understand that you're going to have a main skeleton asset that is going to store every single animation. It's really important that you guys understand that. He's going to be the only one who stores all the animations, okay? You are not going to have more than one main skeleton. It's basically all the bones combined. Okay? Really important. This is actually what a skeleton usually looks like, okay? So you guys have an idea of what he is or what he looks like. So you are only going to have one guy carrying all the animation styles that you guys see here. If you guys don't know Blender, well, learn animations in Blender because I didn't know what else to say, man. This is not a Blender tutorial. But anyways, as you guys can see, oh my god, I ate so much. As you guys can see, this guy right here, is what is going to be our main skeleton asset. Okay, he's going to be the character of our animation. And second, you're going to see right here what is going to look like the modular character skeleton of a specific part of our character. So for example, you're going to notice here that we actually have, like, for example, a torso, but we don't actually have the rest of the body. Usually, customizable characters are portions of a person. So they are usually parts of a person. And when you make, and you're gonna notice that we actually don't have all the bones here. Like for example, we don't have the lower leg bone. We don't have the lower feet bone. You might be wondering why. Well, it's just because we don't need them. You guys can make it so this guy have a full skeleton. But I usually recommend that you guys delete all of those other bones because bones tend to be expensive. They are actually have a lot of things going on behind the scenes. And since they are expensive, it's usually recommended that you only need and have the bones that actually make the animation. And if you're gonna notice here, if we move a bone here, we actually move the character. Guy is actually going to do a little bit of movement. Now, this guy is probably going to move like a little bit of the head or something. Probably not. Probably I just got lazy and didn't delete a part of it. But it's really important that you guys understand that it's you can delete a few bones, okay? So this is actually is how it's gonna look. Also, a thing that is really important is that it can't have animations on the second character armature. Okay, so the modular part of the character actually armature can't have bones. It can't have animations like the other armature that you see here, which is basically like this guy or this guy right above, right? You can't have animation because if you do, it's going to overlap and it's going to break things. Okay. So basically here you're also going to know this that they have a hierarchy of sorts, and if you guys want to know why they have it, go Google how to animate in Blender. You're going to understand why. Well, the idea is pretty simple. One bone can command the others. So for example, if I move root, I move everything. But if I move this bone right here, which is For example, if I go edit mode and I move this bone, you're gonna notice that I don't actually move the other one. If I move this bone, it's basically like that idea. You know, like this bone is basically the parent entity of every single bone. So if you move him in pose, you're actually going to move everything. Where if you move this guy on pose, you're just going to move a portion of bones and his children. Okay, this is basically something correlated to global transforms, but again, not something that you guys need to worry that much. It's just the idea that you have some sort of hierarchy to the bones. Okay. Um, and that's pretty much it, right? This is pretty much the basics of what you guys need to understand. On the next video, we're actually going to do some code on how we actually do this character customizer. But just before we end, I'm actually going to display you guys like the end result of our character customizer. I'm not actually sure if I displayed to you guys before, but you're going to notice that we actually have a fully functional character customizer that actually remembers the information, who can validate the information. Let me just close Blender here. We actually can validate the information, gets propagated to other clients. So it's really cool, and it's really something that you guys should probably try to give it a shot in your game, as it's going to add a lot to it. Okay, and then also the logic is not that complex. We just do a little bit of orbit here so you guys can see it. As you can see, like we improved a little bit. They are not spawning combined anymore. But like, yeah, that's really easy to do. So I'm not gonna even teach you guys how to do that because it's actually so easy. And here I'm gonna customize this guy head. You're gonna notice that we customize his head both here and in the other client. And here you're also gonna notice here that we're going to have a warning server, and you're gonna see that we're actually making server validation. Really important to check out if the guy can actually have that skin. So if you're going to make a competitive game, do follow along. Okay, this is pretty much it. I'll see you guys on the next part where we're actually going to spawn our player entity on client and formulate it on client, and then we are going to make the GUI customizer, right? The guy who actually like that little boxy window thing that you guys saw before. Okay, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye bye.